Hello, I'm Mark Beachy for the Maryland Theater Guide. Today I'm coming to you from the Italian Embassy in Washington, D.C., where the Signature Theater is about to honor Patti LuPone with the prestigious Stephen Sondheim Award.
When we actually started the award 4 years ago with Steve, one of the things that he really felt passionate about was actually awarding a young artist who was starting out in the theater. And so, as a commitment to that, we started this Young Artist Citation Award to give when we give the actual Stephen Sondheim Award. And it's really my pleasure this year that we're going to recognize a young man who's a music director and arranger at Signature Theater, and that's really special. And I'm really pleased to announce that the Sondheim Award Young Artist Citation is going to go to Gabriel Madiente. I'm going to screw his last name up. Madiente. This season has been featured on the Signature stage in the world premiere of The Boy Detective Fails, which was part of our American Musical Voices project, as well as the premiere of Brother Russia, which he music directed and helped do all the programming and all the arrangements. He plays our cabarets, he writes vocal arrangements for countless performances, and we're so lucky to have him at Signature and be working on all these things, and we're so thrilled, and Steve is thrilled actually. He's like, that's great. So Gabe, you want to come on up here? So we sent his certificate to Steve today, and Steve said, can you send me the certificate so I can sign it? So it's not here, but it's coming. But you know where I live and where I work, so there you go.
I just want to say a couple quick things, otherwise you guys get real bored real fast. But I want to say thank you to Adrian, to His Excellency the Ambassador for hosting us, to Deb and the board, for everyone who made me a kind of a home here. I don't know if you guys know, but I moved here to work in IT and finance, and I ended up here. Honestly, I could have asked for a better home than Signature Theater. I also want to say a quick thank you to somebody who can't be here with us tonight, a woman who's kind of responsible for most of my career at this point, Jane Pesci Townsend. Many of you may have known her. Jane passed away last year. I guess it's almost 2 years now. We all miss her a lot, but couldn't be where I am without Jane. And also I'd like to thank the other lady responsible for my career, my mother, who drove up from South Carolina 2 days ago. And also just a very big thank you to everyone here who in any possible way makes the performing arts possible. Deb and I were just talking about how it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. So thank you all for everything you do to make that happen. And now I'm going to stop talking, so thank you.
But before Gabe leaves, one of the traditions we have is, you know, these young artists, we make them sing for their supper, as we like to say. So, when we told Gabe that he was going to receive this honor, you know, you'll see one of the things that he does brilliantly is arrange songs and does amazing musical arrangements. So, Gabe, what do you have up your sleeve?
I'm not actually going to sing, much as I like to grace all my dulcet tones, or present service my new friends, which I would chase across the backup singers. I'm going to instead welcome to the stage my friends, dear friends, Tracy Lynn Oliveira, Christopher Mueller, James Weber, and Matt Terry. To sing a little bit of background to the stage. will be new. What am I to do?
Mother isn't here now.
Things, right things.
Who knows what she'd say?
Who can say what's true?
Nothing's quite so clear now.
Things, right things.
You've lost a way.
You decide that you are not alone.
Believe me, no one is alone.
No one is alone, believe me. Move just a finger.
Say the slightest word.
Something's bound to linger. Be heard. No one acts alone. Careful, no one is alone.
Stop worrying where you're going. Move on. If you can know where you're going, you've gone. Just keep moving on. Kindness takes my world. Others, people make mistakes. Holding to the choice they have been mistaken. Thinking they're the choice. You have to move on. Look at what you want, not at where you are, not at what you'll be. Look at all the things you've done for me. Opened up my eyes, taught me how to see. Notice every tree,
Every tree,
understand the light.
light, others may see what to explore the light, but no one is one to know how to get through. To something new, something of my own. Just Just keep just don't let go. Things will come alright now. We can make it so. Anything you do, let it come from you.
Then it will be you.
Give us more to see.
And now it's my honor and pleasure to celebrate the work of an amazing artist, a passionate performer, and a special friend to Stephen Sondheim. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the 2012 Stephen Sondheim Award.
In 2009, Signature Theater inaugurated the Stephen Sondheim Award to honor an artist annually who has contributed to the works of Stephen Sondheim. Over the past 22 seasons, Signature Theater has presented 21 Sondheim productions, which have become Signature's signature. His artistry is an inspiration to us all on both sides of the footlights. He has challenged us, filled our hearts, and most importantly, has become our teacher. It's a great honor for Signature Theater to present the 2012 Stephen Sondheim Award to Patti LuPone. She was one special individual but with Stephen Sondheim's words and music. Patti LuPone has starred in 7 Sondheim musicals and has sung his songs in countless concerts around the world. She has said, "Nothing has ever come easy for me. What many believe must have been a glorious ascent into heady stardom was, for me, a trial by fire, with a constant threat of being burned at the stake. But I did it. I accomplished this part and I wouldn't change any of it." Okay, that's not entirely true. There's a that I would change, but ultimately it was worth it. Why? Because of the lessons. The lessons. Her remarkable career has brought her 2 Tony Awards, plus 4 additional Tony Award nominations, an Olivier Award, 2 Drama Desk Awards, 2 Outer Critics Circle Awards, and 2 Drama League Awards for Distinguished Performance, along with 2 Emmy Award nominations. Patti has worked on the Broadway stage, the silver screen, television, and in countless major concert halls. She also is the author of the New York Times best-selling autobiography, Patti LuPone, a Memoir. She has shown her amazing talents in the movies City by the Sea, David Mamet's Heist, State and Maine, Just Looking, Summer of Sand, The 24-Hour Woman, Family Prayers, Driving Miss Daisy, and Witness. She has appeared on many major television shows, including 30 Rock, Ugly Betty, Will and Grace, Oz, Law and Order, LBJ, and both Frasier and The Song Spinner, for which she received Emmy nominations. She also appeared with the Los Angeles Opera in The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahagoni, performed the world premiere of Jake Hagee's new opera, To Hell and Back, with San Francisco's Philharmonia Baroque Orchestra, and starred at the Kennedy Center in Regina. Patti has recorded 24 albums, from solo performances to original cast recordings. And throughout this impressive stage, film, television, and recording career, she has managed time for a family with her husband Matthew and her son Joshua and their 2 dogs. Patti has loved the stage her entire life. From her early days, she remembers, "I was downstage right, dancing furiously. I looked out at the audience, and even though it was mostly the parents of the other kids in the recital, I thought they were all looking at me. Hey, they're all smiling at me. I can't get in trouble up here. I can do whatever I want and they'll still smile at me." I knew from then on I would spend my life on the stage, because in fact, what I really fell in love with was the audience. Patti LuPone was born in Northport, New York, on Long Island, the daughter of Angela Louise, a college library administrator, and Orlando Joseph LuPone, a school administrator. Her brother, Robert LuPone, is an actor, dancer, and director who originated the role of Zach, the choreographer, in A Chorus Line. Her older brother, William LuPone, is a teacher. When they were young, they performed on Long Island as the LuPone Trio. In high school, Patti studied under Esther Scott. She recalls, "I remember that my junior high school guidance counselor asked me what I wanted my high school major to be. I told him music. He told me that was not possible, that I had to major in something academic. And why did you ask me?" I said, "I want to major in music." "You can't do that," he insisted. I solved the problem my own way. I don't know how I graduated from high school. The only classes I remember showing up for were music. Patti did graduate high school and went on to be part of the first graduating class of Juilliard's drama division. After completing her training, she began her career as a founding member of John Houseman's The Acting Company, playing a variety of leading roles in New York and on tour throughout the United States. She was featured in such productions as The Cradle Will Rock, The School for Scandal, The Beggar's Opera, and The Way of the World. She made her Broadway debut in the play The Three Sisters as Irina in 1973, and in 1976, she received her first Tony Award nomination for her work in The Robber Bridegroom. She then appeared in The Baker's Wife and Working, and in 1976 she began her long collaboration with David Mamet, appearing in his plays for the next 3 decades, including The Woods, All Men Are Whores, The Blue Hour, The Water Engine, Edmund, and The Old Neighborhood. In 1980, Patti won her first Tony Award for her portrayal of Ava Perot in the musical Evita. They toured The Cradle Will Rock across the country, and the production moved to London 2 years later. She stayed in London to star as Nancy and Oliver. She followed this with Les Miserables, creating the role of Fantine and winning an Olivier Award for her work on both Les Mis and The Cradle Will Rock. Once again, she returned to Broadway to star as Reno Sweeney in Anything Goes, with one of her favorite leading men, Howard McGillen, and earning another Tony Award nomination. Hollywood called, and Patti headed west to star as Libby Thatcher in Life Goes On, which ran for 4 years on ABC. She returned to London in 1993 to star in the world premiere of Sunset Boulevard, earning an Olivier nomination for Best Actress in a Musical. And finally, she came home to Broadway with her one-woman show, Patti LuPone on Broadway, for which she earned her second Critics' Circle Award. She went on to perform in the Broadway productions of Masterclass, Noises Off, and Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, for which she would be honored with her 4th Tony Award nomination. She also began performing concerts internationally, Matters from the Heart and The Lady with the Torch. She made a triumphant solo concert debut at Carnegie Hall with Coulda, Woulda, Shoulda, and has performed it internationally as well. She also performed concerts of such great American musicals as Pal Joey, Anything Goes, Annie Get Your Gun, and Can-Can. And most recently, Patti brought An Evening with Patti LuPone and Mandy Patinkin to Broadway and received critical acclaim. In 2001, Patti began performing at the Ravinia Festival in Chicago in the works of Stephen Sondheim. She starred in a 6-year-long series that featured her in roles such as Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd, Fosca in Passion, Cora Hoover in Anyone Can Whistle, Desiree in A Little Night Music, Rose in Gypsy, and 2 different roles in Sunday in the Park with George. About that experience, she has said, "Well, each aspect of Steve's writing is equally as difficult. The lyrics are complicated and the melodies are intricate. And as I've always said, learning the music becomes infinitely easier when there's a marriage between the lyrics and the music, and that is always the case with Steve. So it's easier to learn his music than it is other people's music. That does not mean it's easy." In 2005, she returned to Broadway to play the tuba and star in the new production of Sweeney Todd, a challenge she would find exhilarating. I've never, and I've said this ad nauseum, sung God That's Good correctly. There's a section that Mrs. Lovett sings with Sweeney. Each of the 3 passages is different and the notes are very close together and I've never gotten it right. But that didn't seem to be apparent to anyone else. Mrs. LuPone earned another Tony nomination for her groundbreaking performance. In 2008, she would star as Mama Rose in the acclaimed production of Gypsy. She said, "The overture began and the audience went nuts. On my cue, I walked down the house right aisle and up onto the stage to an ovation I couldn't see but could certainly hear. I kept my back to the audience and waited to start. I was exhausted from everything. The rehearsals, the previews, the sickness I always get when I walk into a new theater, the long faded road to Broadway, finally playing Rose in Gypsy." She would win her second Tony Award for that performance, which has been hailed as mesmerizing. And she would follow this with an acclaimed performance as Joanne in Company at the New York Philharmonic, bringing her own fire to The Ladies Who Lunch. From concert halls to film and television to the stage, Patti LuPone has done it all, fearlessly, with class and endless talent. She has learned many lessons singing the songs of Stephen Sondheim through the years. I just find him to be a deeply romantic, deeply intellectual man with a tremendous heart. She has applied those qualities to her own broad range of performances of Sondheim, Mamet, and beyond. And she has made the stage much richer for it. For giving us so many lessons, for her love of the works of Stephen Sondheim, and for her endless courage in musical theater, we present Patti LuPone, the Stephen Sondheim Award.
great honor and a privilege of mine to introduce my fabulous friend and colleague, the lovely, the talented Ms. Natasha Diaz.
It is an unspeakable honor to be here to honor you tonight, Ms. LuPone. This also marks the 10-year anniversary of the Sondheim, Camp Sondheim, as we affectionately called it. You and I have never met. I've never had the pleasure of meeting you, and I hope we can remedy that afterwards. But I have been ignited ever since I heard you do Evita. It has burned in me forever, and I sat in the second row of Sweeney Todd, and I'm changed forever. You are elemental on stage. Elemental. And actually, we do have one thing in common. You and I have both snobbed with Howard McGillen. In the name of art. Yes. But as I said, you don't know me. Je suis qu'une fille du port, qu'une ombre de la rue. A little birdie told me that you might enjoy this, so in appreciation for everything that you are and have done and are, will be forever. We offer you this.
tu te fort. Voilà, c'est ça. Allez, viens, allez chanter.
For the memory of Ava and her thrall, Nancy's group pop song. Fontaine, she dreamed a dream, but then she died before too long. How lovely that was. Thanks for the memory of tapping Rita Sweeney, Rose and her bambini. Mrs. Lovett sure was crazy, but she never was mean. Oh, thank you so much. We traveled hither and yon, dear, flung from one court to another. You cooked just as well as my mother. No feuds, no fuss, hooray for us. And thanks for the memory of cruising on the sea. We dined and danced till 3. Then you went skinny dipping off the Isle of Capri. True story. Awfully when I met you, what a gift for me. And thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Falcon, and I've had a great pleasure. I've been helping Patti LuPone on Broadway and serving as a musical director for a number of years. We performed together all over the world in concert halls, in cabarets, even on cruise ships. There's a special relationship that develops between a singer and a pianist when you work together for a long time. And in the best cases, you build up a musical trust and respect for the other person. And you begin to develop a sort of non-verbal communication in performance. And I've been lucky to have played with some wonderful singers in my life, but I have to say that the level of this communication has never been greater than I have with Patti. She's so musical, and she views every performance she has as something new. And it's a pleasure to experience that with her on stage, I have to write. Sometimes she'll, in an intimate setting, phrase something very differently, and then the next time we'll be someplace else. That same phrase will be much bigger, much different, and yet she doesn't even realize that that's what she's doing. Afterwards, I'll say, you know, you did that so differently. She's like, oh, really? I didn't know. She's so in the moment at the time, and it's such a wonderful thing as a musician to make music with someone like that. One reason I think she keeps me around is that we both love food. And I remember early on in working with her, we went out for sushi before a concert, and she introduced me to tempura shrimp heads, which look disgusting but taste really delicious. And I knew at that moment that we get along just fine. When I'm not following this crazy broad across the country, I'm a composer, And in fact, I had the honor of being commissioned by the Signature Theater and Eric Schaefer in collaboration with the Shen Family Foundation to write a new musical for the Signature Theater, which premiered last year called And the Curtain Rises. And there's a song from that show I'm particularly fond of. In the show, the hero is asking the leading lady not to leave. And I think it's a sentiment we would all feel if Patti ever had the audacity to say she might retire. And so I'd like to dedicate this to her. I think Broadway would be a much poorer, less bright place without her around. So Patti, this is the song, Stay. After all the words between us, I'm reduced to one. Stay, not a demand, simply a plea. Do not give up just yet on me. If you leave us now, then all our efforts are undone. Stay. More than that, as you may know, I will be lost if you should go. I need you, there I said it, I need you. Funny how fatigue and walls, defenses, or perhaps I'm finally coming to my senses.
What can I say? I have such fond memories of our time together that we consider doing anything goes. that we did anything else. And Joel Gray was just beginning to collect Social Security. Times have changed, and we've often rewound the clock since the Puritans got a shock when they landed on Plymouth Rock. If today any shock they should try to stem, instead of landing on Plymouth Rock would land on them. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking, but now God knows anything goes. Good authors too, who once knew their worth, now only use four-letter words, writing prose. Anything goes. The world has gone mad today, and goes bad today, and black's white today, and day's night today, and most guys today that live in prize today are just silly gigolos. And though I'm not a great romancer, I know that I'll have to answer when you propose. Anything goes. The night is young, the skies are clear, so if you wanna go walking, dear, it's delightful, it's delicious, it's still lovely. I understand the reason why you're sentimental, 'cause so am I. It's delightful, it's delicious, it's still lovely. You can tell at a glance what a swell night this is. Romance, you can hear dear Mother Nature murmuring low. Let yourself go, I won't complain, we're not alone. The whole damn evening's about the poem. You're delightful, you're delicious, you're delectable, you're delirious, you're divine, dear, you're divine, dear, you're the wunderbar, you're the victory, you're the love, you're the victory, you're the voice. You're into love.
I'm so happy to be here at the Italian Embassy to salute my Sicilian sister, Gala. Patti and I have worked together now 3 times, twice on Broadway and once in a television show that none of you will ever see. And beyond being the incredible talent that we all obviously know her to be, Patti is one of the kindest, most loving, most committed, funniest people I have ever met in my life. And beyond all of her grandeur, she is also an incredible wife and an incredible mother. And seeing her do all of those things is truly an inspiration to me. So I love you so much, and thank you for having me here. The song we're going to do is actually arranged by Mary Mitchell Campbell, who won the Dramatist for her orchestration of Stephen Sondheim's Company. Also the fact that this is the Stephen Sondheim Award is amazing, because I've been obsessed with Sondheim since I was 9 years old. I could sing the entire score of Follies when I was 9. It made me extremely popular with the other children, as you might imagine. And when other little kids were dancing in the mirror pretending to be Madonna, I was pretending to be Patti LuPone. The real amazing. So this first song is actually of the medley. It's one of the first songs that Steve ever wrote. It's so weird to say that. He's like, please call me Steve. I'm like, yes, Mr. Sondheim. And then the second 2 are from Passion, which, again, when I was in high school and all the other girls were dressing up like promiscuous kittens, I dressed up like Fosca. So there we go. that love allows everything. together on Broadway called Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. And we were. It was fine. And then neither one of us actually got to sing this song, but I'm 175% positive we both wish we had. So this is Lovesick by David Yazbek. You think that Cupid's got, well no, it's got a neat little world. Oh baby, careful, cause you'll bleed a little, and pretty soon romance will marinate your brain. You feel your touch, you go up your eyes, think about your shoes. I will take us and your eyes, and you're sweet, it's sweet, it smells like dying flowers. Pain in your stomach like a long connected tooth. Dilated pupils that refuse to see the truth, and that's your sick, you're sick. You might not get through it. Your aching heart is racing, and your brain can catch up to it. It's how you die with a nose and overdose of love. You feel the itching on your skin, that hand right down to your skeleton. You seize, you freeze, your knees turn into dirt. You're on the praying that you'll keep some self-respect. Then out of nowhere comes another side effect. How can you see his face? You feel it in your eyes. They start to water like the place between your thighs. Whenever he gets close, that's an overdose of love. You're sick of what you're saying, you're sick of what you're thinking. You'd have another drink except you're sick of what you're drinking. While sitting there alone, longing for his touch. And little lazy lips are too much, too much, too much of everything. The spark that started, it became a raging fire. The cobwebs in your head turned into razor wire. It's like a puzzle that you'll never get the truth. The trick is you admitting you're sick of what you're sick of. You feel it on your tongue, you feel it in your lips. You feel it from your finger to the place between your hips. You collapse on the floor, you shudder, you tingle. The paramedic comes, you wonder if he's single. You are sick, 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 you're falling to pieces, and the curse is the cure. It's worse than the disease, the death you toast. You overdose on love. You've overdosed on love. You've overdosed on love. Baby, you are sick.
So it's hard to follow that, but I've got some words from Stephen Sondheim. First of all, my apologies to everyone for my absence. I have a case of spring fever, literally. But enough about me. We're here, well, I'm not, but you are, to honor Patti LuPone. The most extraordinary thing about Patti, apart from her pasta, is her versatility. In the space of 6 years, she played Fosca, she played Mrs. Lovett, she played Madame Rose, she played the Mayoress and Anyone Can Whistle, and Joanne and Company, and the tuba. And she played it to the hill. Those performances were merely in musicals of mine. What about Fantine and Evita and Reno Sweeney and Norman Desmond, to name only the most prominent? And those performances were just in musicals. What about Masterclass? What about 6 plays by David Mamet? There are a number of versatile performers currently working on the stage. The constraint of today's theater demand that they be. But the highest skill of Patti's work over a long period of time is matched by very few. In fact, in my opinion, by only 2. The ladies who have preceded her on this platform, Angela Lansbury and Bernadette Peters. What makes Patti unique, though apart from her spaghetti, is her temperament. Patti has a touch of the diva about her. That's one reason the role of Maria Callas suited her so well. It's that temperament that infuses every performance she gives with excitement and passion that are somehow both huge and intimate. Patti is a theatrical animal. She does not belong in the smaller, more confined mediums. We are lucky to have her, and I am more than happy, much more, to present by proxy the Stephen Sondheim Award to her. Ladies and gentlemen, Patti LuPone.
When the award bears the name of Stephen Sondheim, the honor takes on a whole other dimension. I feel fortunate to consider myself a member of the very elite group, a performer who has worked with Stephen Sondheim. Growing up in musical theater, I always looked upon Stephen as the essence of this particular art form. His music makes me shudder and weep. I remember all the productions of Stephen's musicals as vividly as when I first saw them. I don't listen to Broadway cast albums. I always wanted to be a rocker, however. I listen to Steve's. How lucky I am to have gotten to know him, not only as an incredible teacher, but as an even more exacting taskmaster. Some of the greatest challenges of my career, as well as some of the most rewarding experiences, have been singing a Sondheim role. And the fact that tonight I'm joining in this very exclusive group of past honorees of this signature Stephen Sondheim Award means the world to me. There are really no words to express how grateful I am for our association. And to that point, I have to acknowledge Wells Kaufman of the Ravinia Festival, who is sitting right here. But if it weren't for Wells, I would never have played a Sondheim role. Wells Kaufman, from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank all of you who have come here tonight to support the Signature Theater. Eric's work, taking the risks to produce new musicals as well as giving life to musicals that may have been overlooked or forgotten, is invaluable. With it becoming more difficult with every season to get new musicals produced, the work the Signature does is vitally important. So thanks to all of you for helping to ensure this future. Embraced at a very early age and never looked back, and it has great rewards. And this is truly one of them. I'm here with friends, with new friends, with old friends, and I can't thank you enough. Now I know that, where's Joe? Joseph. This is not, I shouldn't be singing for my supper. However, Joseph suggested that I sing for Steve, who's not here. So, wherever you are, Steve, well, you're probably in Connecticut.